Tony D and Little Joan with Screenwriter's Rant on The Pale Blue Eye, starring Christian Bale as a detective in the 1830s, and his sidekick is Edgar Allan Poe. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy Horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys. Books 1 through 10 available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. Oh, loving this. Because much like in the Pineys, I like to incorporate real history in my novels, and this incorporates some of that because you got Edgar Allan Poe as a young cadet in the 1830s, and you've got Christian Bale at the top of his game, directed by Scott Cooper, who I believe also wrote the screenplay, and what happens is there's a cadet hangs himself, but then they find that somebody cut out his heart. And there's some bizarre ritual involved, possibly a serial killer, possibly some secret society. And this is based on a novel which I'm reading online. Got some pretty good reviews. It looks like a stellar cast. I mean, this movie's got everything going for it for me. It looks great. It's Harry Melling as Edgar Allan Poe. It's a great time period, one that isn't often explored, right? Because what the hell's happening in 1830? Nothing. It's too early for the Civil War, so too late for the Revolutionary War. So it's just an interesting time. And it looks like there's a lot of layers here, a lot of detail. The premise is, him and the detective, Poe and the detective become friends, and they work together. But Poe's a drunkard, and he has to stay sober enough to help. And Christian Bale's character has his own problems. There's lots of layers here. I'm liking it. You got Robert Duvall's in it, big time actor. Gillian Anderson's in it, although I don't think I saw her in the trailer. Maybe I missed her, or she looks so different. I think she had some work. But Christian Bale, I mean, come on. Based on the book by Louis Bayard, written for the screen and directed by Scott Cooper. Yeah, rated R. Rated R for adult situations. You see, you got all kinds of secret messages and clues. I mean, this is a good time. This is a good time for a mystery, and the time period will be very, very gothic. Not quite. I mean, it's the old. I guess it's the old feel of the clothes and the lack of technology. It makes it like grittier somehow. Plus, you don't have to do everything you have to do in a modern mystery where you have to eliminate like cell phones, and you have to eliminate like half a dozen things to even have the damn mystery. So this is like more basic, more meat and potatoes kind of story. Plus you have this added bonus that it's young Edgar Allan Poe. He's seeing this, and then this impacts his work later down the road kind of thing, which is kind of interesting, even though you're not going to like see that. There's the Poe actor there. So yeah, I'm all here for this. All here for this. Is that Jillian? I bet that's Jillian. Is that her? No, that's a younger actress. So yeah, and Robert Duvall as the old guy, because that's what he's playing these days. Robert Duvall, another great actor. God, he's so good. Haven't seen him in anything in a while. You just gotta love the look of the time period. It's an unexplored territory too. Anybody, oh God, Civil War's been done to death. Westerns done to death. Even to some extent, the American Revolution done to death. This, it's like right in there. It's a different time period. So Requires some research too. I mean, I think that's where the book comes in. Look at that building. Ah, an old West Point building. Oh man, this is gonna be good. I mean, ain't gonna be any woke crap in this. I'll tell you right now. This is gonna be good. It looks. I mean, the tone, the music, the actors. I can't see anything negative on this. It looks, and even the trailer is it's right on point. The only thing I'm not seeing is Gillian Anderson. I looked. Yeah, I don't know where she is. That's not her. No, that's the younger actress again. So I think this is going to be a great film. I really do. One to watch. Now this is 2023. They're pimping it now. Here's the autopsy scene. The lack of technology too is, I think, it's almost refreshing in its own weird way. I know it sounds weird. We're so bombarded by technology to go back to a time when it doesn't exist. Now, to some extent, you've heard me argue like, how can people connect with this? It is a task. I mean, some people would just be turned off. They're just not interested. But you do have the hook of Edgar Allan Poe, famous writer. You have a good lead, Christian Bale. It's a detective story. I think for the crowd that this is aimed at, they're gonna be so jazzed for this. But how do you connect with an audience, in a time period that they're not going to connect to, right? I think at a certain point, you go far enough back in time, people start reconnecting again because you get away from the people who just aren't going to see a period piece, and you get into people who have some interest in history, and it's a historical angle that I think attracts them, and I think you connect on sort of universal themes, I'm sure they're in the book. There's going to be themes of jealousy and rage with the killer, but also too, you're going to have Christian Bale, like, he's retired from the New York City Police Department with a reputation, but he's here for health reasons. People can kind of relate to that. I think there's a love story in the mix here too. Plus Edgar Allan Poe as a young man, and that it's sort of, on the one hand, when you have young characters, it's like you're looking forward to seeing where they might end up one day because they have a future ahead of them. While at the same time, he's kind of got a dark ending, and people kind of know that. So it keeps within the tone of the movie. So I think that, and you're talking about basically goth stuff when you get right down to it. So I think that has an appeal to that crowd, from the 90s. It's like 20, 30 years later, they're the older audience that will go see movies still. They grew up on movies, so they'll still go see movies. So I think this could be a good hit. I'm rooting for it. I don't know. Some of the other movies just don't seem to do well. I'm going to guess this is coming out early 2023. It feels like a February movie. It's cold, and it's sort of dreary. So it'll be good for that time. You go see it with a nice hot coffee, and then you go to the diner with your friends, which is what I like to do after seeing a movie. So cool. The Pale Blue Eye. I'm looking forward to it. I think I may go to the theater to see this one. I'm liking it a lot. And that's it for me, Tony D and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. We got a Hollywoke hot take. It's loading up now. Don't forget, I'll be at Barney Loves Books on Saturday, and then at the Cedar Rose Vineyard for their big event. We'll see you next time.